Hello and welcome to my talk on sovereignty as risk management. I will explain how to navigate these contextual realities in territorial disputes. My details here, if you want to contact me, and the roadmap today. I will explain what is at stake, my thesis, my main message, the context in my work, and I'll make two main points. Finally, I will refer to my vision, I will refer to a call of action, and my consultancy and coaching services. What is at stake? Territorial disputes from the West Philippine Sea or the South China Sea to the Middle East, including Ukraine, Russia, Israel, Palestine, include structural risks. This has to do with, for example, shipping route disrupted, investments frozen. This hits supply chains, physical assets, and even investor confidence. Lawyers, political science ask singular questions. Who has the legal, political right? This is not the main issue, and that's why these are more complicated than they should be. The smarter question I propose, how do we operate profitably when sovereignty itself is fluid? My work spans for 20 years, and I've dealt with cases in the Americas, Europe, Asia, Africa, Middle East, and so on. My key message, my key thesis, sovereignty today must be understood as a risk management tool. This is not a static line on a map. This is old-fashioned. The ongoing capacity to maintain operational autonomy amidst structural volatility is what sovereignty is right now. Once again, example of my work, what I propose, rather than thinking as a lawyer, thinking as a political scientist, thinking as a military man or a businessman, etc. Those are what I call unidimensional view. What I've been proposing for many, many years has to do with a multidimensional view that embraces all. Because these issues are complex, if we want to maximize gain, we need to address that complexity. That brings me to my first point. From only legal issues, we need to focus on dynamic fluidity. International law is indeed important. International politics are important, but these are not enough. We need to shield ourselves. That is why we need to embrace that sovereignty is fluid and plural. It implies multiple agents, such as companies, corporations, states, people, communities, different contexts, not just the international, the domestic, the regional, law, factual issues, and so forth. These are hybrid issues that need hybrid solutions. Military, regulation, reputation, operations. That is why, and skimming through, there are many elements, including people, community, state, playing different roles in different contexts, different issues as well pertaining realities, and different elements and features. That is why single approaches, only legal, only political, only scientific, only military, are not enough, and they are failing to address these issues, and they are bringing problems to businesses. This is the traditional view of a territorial dispute, not enough nowadays. These are much more complex, as this chart simply explains. That brings me to my main point and recommendations. We need to build up practical resilience, how to move the pieces. Territorial disputes are not checkers. This is a chess game. We need to conduct a multidimensional risk assessment that go beyond just the legal title, but include political issues, economic issues, cultural issues, and so forth. We need to build operational redundancy and diversified positioning rather than single point answer. That is why, translated to you, it has to do with engaging proactively with both governments and partners to build up a joint scenario planning. We need to work on proactive strategic resilience. Sovereign disputes, territorial disputes are an opportunity that brings structural market risk, but as well brings new ways to do things. That is why, in order to address this complexity, we need multidimensional strategy that determines how to more profitable operate in this context. There are different dimensions and variables that can help the risk management issues. That is why my vision has to do with imagining your businesses that not simply avoid chaos, because we need to go through these zones, but we need to know how exactly operate turning potential vulnerability into calculated resilient advantages. This is possible when we reframe sovereignty as a dynamic risk management tool. That is why this opportunity, the Protect 2026 conference, has to do with a multidimensional mindset shift we must conclude. In order to do that, policymakers and business leaders here today, we need to integrate geopolitical foresight into strategies. We need to collaborate across sector and build resilience by not wishing away uncertainty. We need to embrace it. We need to learn to master this, and that's why I'm here. As an example, I'm going to offer a 2-day intensive workshop in Athens in July. If you are interested, please feel free to contact me. And if you need a tailored assessment, a tailored risk management portfolio, a tailored coaching session or sessions, please feel free to contact me. Thank you very much. Maraming salam po. Thank you.